Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, folks. Comment, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen, folks, there's a link tree down below. Has the links to all of my social media platforms. Please go down there, follow me across all my social media platforms and talk to me because I'll talk back. Also down there as well as links to all of my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages and turn your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Now with that said and done and put to the side, I've come to talk to you folks today about Derek Carr. Whew, man, things are really heating up around Derek Carr, right? Listen, he's taking shots publicly about the Raiders. And the Raiders are looking to deal him, okay? This has been a long time coming, okay? That situation is done, baby. Okay, they're in Vegas, all right? Derek Carr wants to go. The Raiders are looking to move on from him. And pow, the New York Jets could be the place where he ends up. Now, we're going to be talking about this right now, but let me tell you something. I've talked about, Aaron Rodgers, who I think is phenomenal, right? But I've also spoken about my love for Derek Carr. I think that he is the most realistic option for the New York Jets, right? He's the quality option for New York Jets. You know, if we can't land Rodgers, who's my top guy, I would love to have Derek Carr be a New York Jet because I think that he is phenomenal. He's a talented guy that's just in a situation where once he moves on to the right team, which should be green if we don't land Aaron Rodgers, we'll be fine. Okay, the New York Jets will be more than fine with Derek Carr aboard. All right. Now, again, Derek Carr is a good option. And we're getting news as of right now, the reports are swirling, that he's been allowed to shop himself. It's been announced publicly that the Raiders are allowing him to speak to teams that will meet their standard for compensation for him, whatever that may be. That hasn't been disclosed yet. I believe that it's probably a first rounder at best and maybe, a third or a fourth rounder. Some people believe it's less than that. Maybe it could be a second rounder, which that could be true as well. Second rounder, fourth rounder. We kind of heard that thrown around as well. But he's being allowed to shop himself, and he's being allowed to talk to teams that meet the Raiders' compensation. So that's big time talk, right? They're allowing him to do his thing. Now, there's a lot of Jets fans that aren't necessarily high on him, but I don't understand why. This guy's a 3-time Pro Bowler, okay? He's had 4,000-yard seasons in his career so far. 4. The New York Jets have only had one guy throw for over 4,000 yards in a season, and that's Joe Namath. Joe Namath did that. He threw for 4,007 yards, I believe, in one season, once. It's the only guy to ever do it in our franchise history. And so when I talk to some Jets fans, they'd be like, oh, he's trash. This guy's had 4,000-yard seasons. He would come in and be an extremely accomplished quarterback here. He would already come in and have, a lot of accolades and a resume longer than a lot of the guys that we've had, at quarterback in the Jets facility. So it makes him a really good option here. Now, keep in mind, Derek Carr's contract and everything there is a very unique situation, and we're going to discuss this. Now, he does make $40 million a season. Not a big deal. He's a good quarterback. It is what it is. But the Raiders are looking to move him before February 15th. That's like the hot deadline. Because in his contract, if they keep him after February 15th, that locks in, it forces them to eat a lot of guaranteed money within his contract. They'd be on the hook for a lot of that $40 million, right? And they don't want to have nothing to do with that. They don't want a lot of those clauses and things to activate. They want to move him before the 15th. Now, they could cut Derek Carr, but it's highly unlikely that they're going to do that. They're going to try to move him to a team before they just cut him so they don't have to eat that. But that is an option for them as well. Now, keep in mind, Derek Carr has a no-trade clause. That is going to be, tough for them to work around because they can't just send him anywhere. If they're trying to send him somewhere he don't want to go, he don't have to sign off on it. It is what it is. I believe, just like, any other solid quarterback or player, they want to go somewhere where they can succeed, where they'll be comfortable. He's a quarterback where there's weapons, and he'd be able to take the next step. Boom. In walks the New York Jets. We have a lot of those things. Our defense, 4th overall. Okay, that side of the ball locked up. Our offense, unlimited potential. Guess who would unlock that? Derek Carr if he was put in the Jets jersey, right? We have the young weapons. We got Garrett Wilson. We got Elijah Moore. Corey Davis is still on the squad as of now. We'll see what happens going forward with him. Denzel Mims is in the building. We got CJ Uzama, Tyler Conklin. Brees Hall's going to come back from that injury, right? We got a running game that can really get going. ATV's coming back. Becton's coming back. We need good quarterback play, and Derek Carr could provide that. He could absolutely look at this situation and be like, oh, yeah, the New York Jets are good. We also got Nathaniel Hackett as well, a very good offensive mind. Robert Saleh, who's a leader of men. We're a franchise that's a quarterback away from really excelling and ascending in this league and making big-time impact, and he could be that guy. Now, the thing here is, he's been with the Raiders, and the Raiders are just a dysfunctional franchise. I mean, we can go through the list of things, that the Raiders have had issues with over, the years, right? They're a storied franchise. Of course, they've won a lot in the past as well, but there's been a lot of crazy things going on in their front office, right? You look at Gruden and the way that he departed from there with all the stuff that was going on, and then he left the franchise. Mayock, the general manager that they had, his drafting was horrific. He missed on a lot of guys left and right. The defensive issues there have been glaring for years. Their defense used to give up leads. They couldn't stop anybody. The Raiders have been struggling on defense for, a bit. And I think that he suffered from a lot of these things. But even with all that going on around him, he was still succeeding. He was still going out there, putting it on the line, throwing footballs and making plays. But with all these things going on around him, just put him in a bad situation, right? And there's been a lot of narratives that have been spun around Derek Carr that I don't necessarily understand, right? One of those narratives is cold weather games. Now, this is the biggest narrative because Jets fans that I speak to constantly talk about this when they talk about why they don't want to have nothing to do with Derek Carr. I've had discussions with people that think he's trash because apparently he can't play in cold weather games. He doesn't deliver, right? And I go, okay, so you guys are saying he can't play in cold weather games. He plays with the Raiders. The Raiders play Denver. It's freezing in Denver. We all know that at certain times of the year. So, I go and take a look, right? What's going on with Denver? I watch the Raiders from time to time. Well, you look at 2020, this recent season, 2022, right? And he plays in Denver, and he has 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and he got a win in OT against Denver in Denver. So I go, okay, Then I look at 2020. He was at Denver again. It was freezing cold there. He threw for 371 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and the Raiders got a W. I go, okay, well, those are 2 freezing cold games that he's played in, and he played well. I mean, could there be another one? Oh, yeah. In 2019, he goes to Denver, does it again, 29 of 46, 319 yards, and has a TD in the game. And I think it was somewhere around the 20-something degrees, 23 degrees in that game. It was freezing. So it's like, where are we getting this talk that he can't play in cold weather games? Because these are games where it was freezing. He goes out there and handles business. Like, I don't get it. But it is what it is, right? He did lead the Raiders to the playoffs twice. One of the playoff games he didn't play in because he was injured. But the other one, he actually played in. So, he has some playoff experience. But the biggest question I think I have surrounding Carr is that if the New York Jets do trade for Carr, he's in the building, he's going to be in New York, can he handle the pressure of playing in New York and the expectations of what comes when you put on that green jersey? Let me tell you something. And I think he has what it takes. But the media and the fan base here are rabid, okay? This is serious business to come to New York. We've seen the media break the best of them. We saw the media and the fan base here break Rex Ryan, real talk. We've seen it break veteran players here. We've seen it break quarterbacks, right? Look at what Sam Darnold was going through before he got out of here. Look at what other guys, look at what Zach Wilson's going through right now, right? Look at what his family's going through. They'll attack your family as well. Oh, the fan base here will attack your family too. We all know that, okay? So I just wonder if he'll be able to handle the media and the fan base. But I think he'll be all right with that. But that's my biggest question. So comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. How do you folks think about the possibility of the New York Jets acquiring Carr. How do you feel about him? Do you think he's a solid option? Comment down below. Let's go back and forth. You folks have a good one. Peace.